about basically his testimony that she would say crazy things all the time, confirming he said that to investigators investigating the death of Kathy Durst, the first wife of Robert Durst. So saying crazy things all the time, Neama Rahmani. I mean, this witness seems to fall right into the hands of the defense, really shooting a hole into maybe what, the story is and how Susan Berman was killed and what information she had about what happened to Kathy Durst.
Derek, certainly not helpful evidence for the prosecution, but, again, this is a cold case. This is a challenging case. They got to put forth all the possible evidence that they can because it's mostly circumstantial. And, what's surprising is not only what Susan Berman, told all her friends, and Kathy Durst did the same, but really their reaction. Apparently of all these witnesses that are coming forward saying, Susan told me that Bob Durst killed his former wife, or, my good friend was involved in the disappearance of his wife, and it was really made national headlines. And you don't have any follow-up by these friends. They sort of listen. There's this one statement that's made in passing, and there's no,
right.
the reaction is really surprising. So I certainly would have reacted differently.
Yeah, interesting point. They almost seem a little nonchalant about it, but it is, some 20 years have gone by, and then this trial has had a big long break due to the pandemic. So maybe that's kind of clouding at least some of their testimony on the stand. But you're right, to your point, they don't seem to be raising any alarm. Certainly they didn't call the police on their friend. That's what comes to my mind when a friend tells you, oh yeah, I have information about a murder. As you said, there's no follow-up.
There really isn't. And, same thing with the abuse, that Kathy Durst allegedly suffered. She's telling her friends that she's been abused. Obviously, it was a different time, but none of them are encouraging her to go forward, get help, talk to law enforcement, social workers, prosecutors, all the things that you would at least nowadays expect if someone said that they were in an abusive relationship. And then fast forward to the murder, you have someone that says they have evidence that their friend was involved in a very high profile public murder that made national headlines. And really there's no reaction. Nothing is said. And like you said, Derek, it really plays into the defense's theory of the case that, this is all sort of fabricated, or folks aren't really remembering, or they didn't even believe Susan Berman themselves.
Very interesting for sure. All right, so the Robert Durst trial, dark today because Robert Durst had a medical